Hello, beautiful love goddesses. Welcome to a recording of Katya Melvin Podcast or Lovegodesss Podcast with Katya Melvin. And I am your host. and this week, I have decided to speak with you about 5 feminine archetypes that I personally embody. And I want to share that with you because they are also part of the Lovegodesss philosophy, Lovegodesss movement, right? There are so many other variations and additions and the archetypes. There's so many archetypes out there. We just gonna cover a few, and we usually dive deep once we dive deep into Lovegodesss work together. We explore those archetypes and we embody the archetypes through our life, our experiences, and honestly, a lot of women don't even know what archetype they would connect with. So it is part of self-exploration to explore the archetypes and tap into archetypes and live in the archetype for a day to understand whether this is something that sticks, whether this is something that you want to embody, whether this is something that is you. I have learned a lot about spiritual archetypes, light worker archetypes, by reading a book, Black is the New Light or something like that by Rebecca Campbell. Or no, that was another book of hers. It was Rise, Sister, Rise by Rebecca Campbell, and she lists spiritual archetypes in there. And while she's going through different archetypes, an archetype of a healer, an archetype of a high priestess, this was my aha moment. This was when I have connected, realized, and had deeper knowing that I belong to an archetype of high priestess, where this knowledge was not there until I read about archetypes. So archetypes are really, really powerful. They're super, super important for you to know, because you're gonna connect with your own archetype, or many like I have, and that's why we're going into 5 main archetypes that I embody in my daily life. Sometimes I spend an archetype like a whole day in the archetype. Sometimes I go through different archetypes in the day. That happens a lot. This is when we get to master the art of shifting our feminine, masculine energies, shifting our classy woman to a bad bitch at night, right? Or like a bad girl in a bed, right? Like all of that is part of the art of shifting, which is almost like a mastery level of a Lovegodesss program, right? It takes a lot because we get into one head, like we get into our own head, we get into one archetype, we get into one, and we just get disconnected. We don't even belong to our bodies when we do that. So it's really hard to know when and how to shift. And so when time comes and we want to, go have fun, we don't have the mood, right? And the reason why we don't have the mood because we don't know how to shift, right? So the art of shifting from negative to positive, from crying to like having the time of your life, right? It's a level, like it's a mastery level skill that we are actually learning, studying, embodying in the mastery level of the Lovegodesss program, which is the Cleopatra, right? Anyway, so back to our archetypes. I will start with an archetype that a lot of people connect with me. A lot of people respond to, and I guess I embody that more often than other archetypes. Or maybe I'm sharing that archetype more often than other archetypes. That archetype is dark feminine energy. And I'm going to share more with you. So dark feminine energy, the good representation of that is Dita Fong Tees. Dita Fong Tees is a burlesque dancer. She is this colorful, beautiful, gorgeous, she has gorgeous body, like persona that everyone admires and worships, and on stage and in real life, she's very classy woman with the vintage style of presenting herself. She has vintage hair, she does vintage style makeup, she's very high-end classy, like she would wear very expensive Louis Vuitton purses and shoes, and like there is that air of being that high class 60 movie star, right? So this is the archetype of a dark feminine energy. Why is this, and why is she a representation of that archetype for me, and why she is my role model to a degree, is because women, this is my problem with current culture. My problem with current culture, pop culture, is that femininity and sexuality is being presented in a very disrespectful for a woman way. She is encouraged to be a slut, to be a loose woman who has no values, who shakes her ass and who shares her pussy, right? Because all songs are nowadays about pussies. Like, what the fuck, right? It's not even a turn on. When I hear those songs on radio, it's not even a turn on, it's disgust. Right? It's a disgust. At least 10 years ago, and I guess this is where I can say I'm fucking old. At least 10 years ago, there were songs about love, not pussies, right? Like songs about love and like desire and how how man is like lusting for a woman, but in a very presented in a very classy way. Now it's just like sexual acts, and there's no turn on happening whatsoever. It's just full on disgusting porn. I guess the porn culture has played into it. I don't know, right? To me, this is it's a no-no. Like, where are we going with this? It's not even sexy. It's not even sexy. It's more disgusting, and it's very loose values. Like, why? Anyway, so the rant is over. And we're transitioning to sharing what's the right way, right? So, and the right way is having those old school values, right? Having class, having mystery. I keep talking about that mystery so much. And that's part of, that's one of the main key ingredients in the dark feminine energy, is creating that sense of mystery. There's no mystery when a woman is naked and there's nothing to even present to imagination, right? There's no mystery when songs are about pussies, where there is lots of mysteries when song is about romance and love and desire, and there's room for imagination, because imagination, your brain is the sexiest organ in your body. If you didn't know, by the way. And when there is room for imagination, there is room for play, there is room for creating that desire, creating that additional element, that is why the art of seduction is really the art of how to create or manipulate brain in creating those images that could have been, right? And it's so damn sexy. And I know that masculine way of what's turning a masculine on and what's turning a feminine on are different. And I know that a feminine way of getting the turn on is different than a masculine way. For masculine, it's enough to see a woman, right? There still needs to be a mystery, right? Like when woman is fully open and she's not desirable. When woman is fully open and available and shows her that she's drawn that wrong kind of attention and she's not desirable, she's disposable. She's disposable, right? When woman has a mystery, she creates these scenarios in someone else's mind that are full of possibilities, full of imagination, full of play, full of excitement, full of elements that we create with our own mind, right? And so the dark feminine archetype is a woman that is full of mystery, and Dita Fontees is full of mystery because she doesn't speak much. You see, like you wonder, like, what's her life like? What's her sex life like? What is her like dating life like? Like, she doesn't share much. We don't know much about her, and more probably there's not much there anyway. But nothing unusual. But she creates this air of mystery that gives us that impression that there is more to the story than what we see, right? There is that something that we didn't know about her, some kind of mystery element about her. And on top of that, she creates this persona of a classy woman, a woman with a mystery, a woman that looks good, always put together. She always has her hair done, and like she always presentable, right? In a very good way. She takes care of herself and her appearance and what she wears, and it is important, right? And then there is also an air of power. That's another archetype quality for the dark feminine archetype, that when you look at the woman, she is one, mysterious, well put together, and powerful. So those three elements, right? Those three elements are the most important elements in the dark feminine archetype. You create that sense, and whether it's an illusion, whether it's real, whether like you create that sense of power with other women, people, man, right? You create that sense of power, and you're important. You're being valued. You're someone who we look up to, right? You influence people. You are that figure of power, that you are in control. You can influence other people's opinions. You can influence other people's action, and that's what power is, right? And so there is those three elements of the archetype that we have: mystery, high class, well put together, and then power. Those three combination of the dark feminine archetype are the key to have that air of dark feminine about you, right? We can go deeper into how do we actually embody this, right? Like, in fact, we do go deeper in the Love Goddess Academy. How do we embody the dark feminine archetype? How do we what do we do? What do we say with others? How do we look, right? Like that, all of that, like there is different energies about everything. And I'm saying, like, you are an energy, I am an energy, and yes, I have a physical body, but my essence is energy. Your essence is energy, right? And so it is so important to embody the energy. And that's why archetype work is so powerful, because you get to embody the energy. You know what that energy feels like, right? It's all about the feeling. Feminine is all about the feeling. Masculine is about thinking, right? Like feminine is about the feeling. And a good combo is the balance, the combo of masculine and feminine energies, right? But it is about the feeling. How do you make others feel when they're around you? Do you create that vibe of dark feminine, of mystery, of like people guessing what's going on about you? Like, why are you different? Why are you blowing people's minds, right? So super important. I hope you took notes. I love talking about archetypes. It's my favorite. I'm gonna put like a finishing point here, and I'm gonna come back and talk about other different archetypes as well with you that I embody in my daily life, and I will see you on another episode of a Lovegodesss podcast. By the way, did you know we have created Lovegodesss Studio. If you're local to Virginia Beach, we are now having classes like heels classes, chair dance classes. We have sensual body touch classes. We have what do we have? We have bachata classes, also like tapping into your feminine energy through that. Hip hop classes, beginner friendly. Everything is beginner friendly, right? You don't need to know anything. You just need to have a desire to tap into that feminine energy and go dance. We're not so much a dance school or dance studio. We are so more of a like private club for women where women get to have fun. And if you want advanced work, you can definitely work with our teachers privately after you realize that, hey, this style is for me. So we also have hip hop classes. We also have ecstatic dance classes, which is like one of my favorites. I feel so much bliss and purity after going through that. Make sure to check that out. Your first class is only $10. I'll leave all the details below. And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I will see you next time. Ciao.